In the woods where the tall trees sway, Rich Van Goopar used his motorhome, ready to play. With his paintbrush in his hand and his heart so free, he found inspiration in nature's harmony. Inside his humble abode, colors come alive on canvas. He paints, expressing all his strife with the spirits of the woods. He dances in the light, creating masterpieces every single night. Although he's living on the grid.
Hey, hold on a second, Carl. I think I got to put you into reverse. We're going to step into the Wayback Machine. Hold on, I got to get back to Maui. There we go. Oh, boom. All right. Wow, welcome back to Travels with Carl, my friends, and welcome back to Maui. I fucked up and I left a job out because it's kind of confusing, but I was actually working two jobs at the same time when I was at Kapalua Bay Hotel. And I really can't leave this job out because I was actually selling fine art for Lynn Shu from the Village Galleries. Lynn was quite an amazing woman. She started the first art gallery on Maui, and I don't know if you know this or not, but at one point, actually at the point when I first moved there, let's say 85 or 86, Maui was one of the top 5 art selling places in the world. Now, a lot of people, again, like when we're talking about the Super Bowl and the World Series, I'm not talking about like Christie's or Sotheby's auction house. I'm talking about really expensive art by people like Weiland. Weiland is probably the most famous marine artist, and who became famous for, the work that he did to try to protect and save the marine, especially the marine mammals, whales and dolphins. And I think he did over 41 murals, which are bigger than the actual whales around the world, and he became super famous. He had 3 galleries at one point just on Front Street. But anyway, I was selling art for Lynn Shu, and she had her first gallery was on Dickinson Street and Front Street on the corner there. And I am afraid to say, I don't know this for a fact, but I have a very strong feeling that her building was one of the buildings that burned down when all of Front Street and Lahaina burned down. I can't imagine how it would have survived. But I'll do some more research. But anyway, it's important to me to include this job, even though I didn't sell that long for Lynn, and I wasn't like her top salesperson by any means. But they expanded, and I say they because she had a couple of other people that were both artists and partners of artists and stuff that they expanded first into the cannery, and then they had another gallery that was really unsuccessful up at Embassy Suites, and it just didn't attract the clientele that she needed or to buy art. But anyway, I really wanted to include that because Lynn is an awesome woman. I hope she's still alive. I met her later on again after I had sailed off into the sunset and come back to Hawaii. And I don't want to give this all away, but I went over to Oahu to go to UH. And so that's on the timeline. Went there from Kapalua Bay Hotel to University of Hawaii. But while I was at Kapalua for a while there, I was working 80 hours a week. That's how difficult it was to survive, and housing was so expensive. So I had a short stint working for her, but it was an important one because she's a heavy hitter, and again, that period of time the artwork, the art scene on Maui was really special. And I don't know, one thing I wanted to say, that's tasty. She had this is how long ago this was. She had a Watts line in her office, so you could call anywhere in the world, and it was included in like a monthly fee. So I would catch up with people that were all over the place. This is like they still had long distance phone calls. I can't even wrap my mind around that yet, but it saved me a bunch of money on making a lot of calls, because when I got to the gallery, this is at the cannery, there was almost nobody there. And when business started picking up, it was a little bit better. But then they moved me up to the Embassy Suites, and that was just totally dead. There was nothing going on there. And anyway, I got, I think Lynn might have been one of the people that wrote a letter of recommendation for me when I went to UH. I'm not sure. But anyway, me and Carl had to step into the Wayback Machine to go back to Maui. Now I'm going to transition and go whoosh, boom back over to Oahu, and let you know that while I'm going to UH and I'm living in my schwanky house up in Pacific Heights and meeting my girlfriend Cho Chin, who then became my wife, and 7 years later we would divorce. And I'm not giving that away because that wasn't a job. That was a marriage. I mean, it was work, but it wasn't a job. Anyway, I'm back on Oahu now, and it was really fun to go back to Oahu, because I had never, or to go to Oahu, because I had never actually lived there before. I had only lived on Maui, and I had visited Oahu once, and I had visited the Big Island once on my first ever vacation to Hawaii, right after I graduated CCAC. I took a break there and spent a week on Oahu and a week on the Big Island. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with Hawaii, the Big Island, because they wanted to make this as confusing as possible, is the island of Hawaii. And they named the island, one of the islands, the same thing as they named the whole island chain. Okay, well, Oahu is where Honolulu is, and it's where Waikiki is, and it's where my next job is, which is the Sheraton Moana Surfrider Hotel. Now, the cool thing about this, and yes, I am doing a segue here to let you know that since I have to do this out of order, I wanted to catch you up to speed, and I'll pick this up on the next episode, because this episode is dedicated to the Village Gallery, and it's brought to you by Waterloo. Don't leave home without it. Another fine lemon lime naturally flavored sparkling water. It's just so freaking delicious. I have been, okay, so we're up to speed, right? It's not too much to talk about the Village Galleries because, and no, I don't have a painting of it. I will have a painting of it, but I've been busy because I'm trying to sell my Jeep Comanche, and I got over 20 people on Facebook Marketplace last night. I posted it, went to bed, I got up this morning, I had 20 messages about this Jeep. Supposedly I got 2 people on the way over and 2 appointments for tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be able to cancel those appointments because I'm going to try and sell the Yeti Roamer, which is the Jeep Comanche's actual name. I'm going to try and sell them to I'm going to try and sell that Jeep twice today, to the first person that comes over here, and then again to the second person that comes over here if the first person doesn't buy it, because I can't really sell it twice. A friend of mine commented, why do you have so many cars? I got another electric car in my driveway, a Mercedes smart car that I bought. I love the car, but it was a project. It didn't run when I bought it. I towed it to my house, you know what I mean? I got a BMW motorcycle that is too tall for me, and I'm selling that. I never rode that bike at all, except for a little bit. It's on a trailer. I'm selling the trailer with it, and I've got a Honda Metropolitan, which you didn't know me when this happened, and I'll talk about this in a later job, but it got heavily vandalized by wild people, wild animals, in the middle of the night inside of my parking garage in LA. We'll get to that much later. It'll probably be in the summertime before we bring that up. But I thought, you know what, I'll sell that for parts, just get my driveway cleared up. So I just have the Mini Cooper, my Scarabeo motorcycle, and Carl. Because Carl and Carl, this summer, I'm going to pour some money into Carl, because we're going to go over to the Olympic National Rainforest and actually do a little camping over there. You know, I have yet to go there, and this March will make 3 years I've been in Seattle, and 1 year that I've actually been in my house. This is the BMW that I'm selling. It's a 1200. It's a gorgeous bike, but it's too tall for me, you know, and I rode it around a little bit, but I couldn't really lower it. I was going to just chop it and lower it, but I was afraid that that was going to screw the handling up, and it's got so many sensors and electronics on it that I was afraid it was just going to throw everything off. So fuck it. I'm just going to sell it the way that it is, and hopefully somebody 2 or 3 inches taller than me will come over tomorrow and buy it. That is, I've got 2 people that are seriously interested in that, and they're going to come over. They're both too far away. I think one of them was in Tacoma, and I'm not sure where the other one is, but I knew this other guy. I was saying about when I was working 2 jobs on Maui, I knew this other guy that was working 2 jobs, 2 hotels, a bellman at both jobs, and he would finish one of them and go right to the other one and work the graveyard shift on that one, and then go to sleep in his truck. And he would stay there on one of the 2 parking lots overnight, sleeping in the back of his truck, and then go home to see his wife on weekends. I was like, oh, bro, there's got to be a better way. But that's what, you know, that's, again, I'm getting back to, artists aren't the only ones that, you know, end up working a ridiculous amounts of jobs and ridiculous amount of time, because unless you're making a lot of money, like, I really feel sorry for people that are like born and raised on Maui, like that's their home. You know, they can't afford to live where they grew up. You know, I could much easier afford to live back in Pennsylvania if I wanted to go back to the East Coast, but I have no desire to do that. I'm pretty set up here in the Pacific Northwest, and I love the area. Yeah, a little too much rain in the winter, I'll give you that, but now that I have the farm in Portugal, I'm hoping I'm going to leave here in the fall, come back here after Christmas and stuff, do a month or 2 of winter here, where it actually rains less the colder it gets, because fall is when you really get the most rain. I'm not sure how I'm going to split my time yet, but the beautiful thing about what I'm doing now is I have incredible flexibility with my work schedule. So I'm not going to give it away. I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing right now, because that's 52 and we're not going there. But it's good, I'll tell you that. So anyway, I don't know. I might cut today's episode a little bit shorter because, well, I was thinking I was going to end up cutting it shorter when these customers arrive, but they're not here yet, so I'm not worried about it. But I did spend a lot of time today trying to sell these two vehicles. Didn't even get a bite on the electric car or on the Metropolitan, which doesn't really matter to me because I was only selling that for $500, and it's just a parts vehicle, and it doesn't take up any space. It doesn't even have to be, I can just push it up on my deck and leave it there. It's kind of like a piece of yard art, but that's not going to make me or break me if I don't sell that. But I'm trying to raise a little money. There's a couple things I want to do to Carl. He has some issue with his power steering, and it's not like regular power steering. It has some kind of an additional component. If it was just regular standard power steering, I could probably fix it myself, but there is another component that goes with it. And I've never even opened the engine compartment on this. I've opened it from the very front of the vehicle to get at the battery and to check the oil and automatic transmission fluid and stuff like that. But I've never inside the engine compartment because it's a front engine, rear wheel drive motorhome. There's a big cover. Maybe I'll do that next episode. Maybe I'll show you the engine and we'll look at the engine together. It's a Chevy 454 big block, so it's a beast. And I want to do some work on the power steering and replace all of the batteries, because it has one battery that starts the engine, and then it has two batteries that are affiliated with or in connection with the generator. It has an onboard Onan generator as well, so you can power most things inside off of a power inverter and batteries in the generator. But of course, it's the ultimate power is when you can plug it into a shoreline. But if you're, for say, over in the Olympic National Rainforest, there is probably, unless they have a national park, they might have power hookups. But power hookups are great because you just plug it into like this massive electrical plug, and I mean, you can run microwaves and everything else. I think you could probably run the microwave that was in here off of the Onan generator, because it was a small microwave, but you probably wouldn't want to be running too many other things at the same time. But it's good. I'm going to throw some money into Carl this summer so that we can actually get out of Dodge a couple times. And then in the spring, I will be going back to Portugal right now as we speak. And I may include a little clip of the video on my land. But right now, as we speak, they have cleared half of my property in Portugal, and they're getting ready to drill the holes to put in about 400 to 500 trees. 400 to 500 cherry trees. So that's half of what my minimum. I want to have at least 1,000 trees to generate about $50,000 worth of income. I did find out that the adjacent land to mine is for sale over there, so I'm going to see how much land it is and how much they want for it. But I'd love to put in another 1,000 trees in a year or two, buy that land and put in another 1,000 trees. And I could actually have like 100,000 a year coming in just from cherries. So let's just say that would really augment my retirement nicely. All right, man. See, I'm wearing my Patriots hat today. I don't know if you noticed this, but I was clowning a guy at work. Put the 49ers there because I'm a diehard 49ers fan. And then he goes, "Oh, nice hat," because he's a diehard Patriots fan. I go, "Yeah, check it out, bro. 49ers. always forward with the 49ers. So thanks for watching us. Please like and subscribe. It'll really help me out. And if you can, share it with other people, that are curious. What is Travels with Carl? I didn't even mention that today, and I didn't mention my book. Please go to Amazon and buy a copy of Amendment 21-A. The word amendment, the number 21, and the dash symbol and the letter A. It's about ending the war on drugs or ending prohibition. It's the most important, easiest change we can make that would positively affect the entire world. And the other thing is I have to plug my website, www.vangogh.inc. VANGOGH dot what? It's not INC, is it? No, it's Van Gogh Incorporated, but it's vangogh.ink, like printmaker. Got it? Pretty smart, huh? I didn't come up with that idea. It was my web designer. Now that kid was smart. Anyway, check out my website. You can go there and buy art right now. When this is done, I'll have 52 prints, one for each job, 52 original pieces of work. I'll have a book, 52, also known as 52, aka Travels with Carl. It'll have 52 color plates in it, as well as 52 short stories. And it won't just be transcripts of each one of these 52 episodes. Now, it's going to be better than that. It's going to be a little more polished writing, because what I do in here when I shoot Travels with Carl, and this is Carl, by the way. When I shoot Travels with Carl, I'm just freewheeling. This is right off the noodle up here, man. Excuse me, there is no script for Travels with Carl. Just like my life, there's no script for this. You can't make this shit up. You just get up and get going and get on with it and try and come up with something that will provide an income. And you do that every day until you die. No, hopefully not. I'm on my last job. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be coasting over the finish line and traveling around in Europe half of my time and spending the other half of my time here in the beautiful Evergreen State, tooling around with Carl and visiting my sister and friends and other family members that are scattered around the United States, mostly on the East Coast. But I have friends all over the world now, and making more friends with this channel. So check it out, man. It's pretty cool. I think you'll like it. Check out the earlier episodes. If you can, watch it from the beginning and binge watch it. That's the best. I mean, if you're just tuning in now for the first time, hopefully some of you are following along with me week after week, and I'll be the first one to admit I was scattered today because I was torn between staying put at my house and doing the deal. I had an electrician coming over trying to fix my hot water heater, and trying to sell these vehicles and trying to shoot this episode. So somehow I ended up managing to accomplish all of that in the same day. And the electrician will be back on Monday. Sunday's a family day for him, and I respect that. And, I'm just hoping these fools get here pretty soon, because, I'm not going to show my Jeep in the dark, man. It's black. It's hard to see that thing anyway. And I sure don't want to get robbed by some fool over here who thinks he's going to rob me in the dark with a cash transaction. You know what I'm saying? They don't know me well enough. Ain't nobody getting robbed here. I'll tell you that right now, motherfucker. Oh man, I love to laugh at my own jokes, because a lot of times other people don't. Doing a little stand-up one of these days, because I got the courage to do it. Figure I just do what Dave Chappelle does, man. Every other word I'll say will be nigger that, nigger that. What's up, nigger? My nigger. Yo, what up, dog? And, and I'd say that right to Dave Chappelle's face, because me and Dave, I think we're going to be close. I mean, never met him, but I think, he's going to like my sense of humor and my just craziness. Yeah, because I am kind of crazy. But, I'm living large. I'm living life and having a good time as an artist. And if you have not seen my artwork, go online today, tonight, right now, check it out and buy something. And go to Amazon and buy my book. You could read that in one sitting, okay? It's only like this thick, right there. Yeah, it's like that thick. It's got 9 color paintings in it, 9 color plates, 8 short stories, and 1 introduction. Now, the introduction will set you straight, because unlike Travels with Carl, it's not really complicated. I go over what I consider to be 8 very important facets that what caused the drug war that's been languishing for 100 years, and what we need to do to end that. Okay, I think it was Mother Teresa that said she wouldn't go for a march against the war in Vietnam. She would go on a march for peace. So maybe I need to not talk about ending prohibition. Maybe I need to talk about moving forward with life, letting people do the drugs that they want to do and selling them to them very inexpensively, so that we could pay and fund for our entire healthcare system and provide housing for every homeless person and food for every hungry person in the United States. And if you think that I'm bullshitting you, let me show you how that pencils out, okay? Because I've done the math. The money that we waste on trying to get people not to do drugs is it's astronomical. I mean, you look at in the last month what we've shot 20 drug boats coming out of just Venezuela. I don't know how many kilos were on each one of those boats, and I think it was a war crime to shoot those people without arming, or without boarding their boat and making sure that was even cocaine. But anyway, you think about how much drug, literally tons of drugs, go through the country, and the amount of money that we spend trying to stop it, and the amount of money that's people are working hard and breaking into your car trying to come up with enough money to do some bullshit fentanyl, which they don't even want to do in the beginning. They just want heroin. It's cheap. You could sell heroin for $10 a gram. You could buy the opium at fair trade from people in Afghanistan or Myanmar or Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, where it grows really well. Or you could make and sell opium, or refine it and sell pure heroin for $10 a gram, right? You make a fortune. We could fund our entire healthcare system, and nobody would have to break into anything or rob anybody or steal anybody or steal anything, and they could still work a regular good job. They couldn't fly or drive a train or drive a car or anything like that. I mean, we'd have to treat it just like alcohol. When you're intoxicated, you can't operate heavy machinery. Same thing with cocaine. Pay the farmers. There's 5 countries that produce the coca plant, Bolivia, Peru, Colombia, Brazil, help me out, help the brother out, maybe Chile. I don't know, there's 5 countries where coca grows wild. You could grow it in other countries, but there's 5 countries that provide 99.999% of the coca that we turn into cocaine, or that they turn into cocaine, and then they filter it down with gasoline and some other nasty products and press it and throw it in microwaves out in the jungle running off of generators and compress it into kilo blocks. And when those kilos leave the jungle, they sell for $2,500 a key. When it hits the United States, it's now $25,000 a key. Okay, and people are paying 100 $100 a gram all day long for cocaine. In fact, I'm not bullshitting you. Check this out. One of the fools trying to buy my Jeep texted me on Facebook Messenger and just typed in the word girl with a question mark. Well, girl is a nickname for cocaine. I thought, this motherfucker is asking a total stranger if I want to trade a bunch of coke for my Jeep. You know, first off, it probably wasn't even real cocaine to begin with, and second off, you know, there's somebody that's going to end up doing time, okay? Because you can't just ask people if they want to do a $2,000 transaction by trading coke for your car, okay? And I guess he just figured I knew what he meant when he typed in girl, but I just typed back, nah, he's a boy. I pity the fool. All right, man. Me and Carl we're gonna slide on out of here. We got 29 minutes in. I was glad I could talk to you a little bit about Amendment 21. I tell you, you're gonna love the book. I haven't met anybody that got it and read it that didn't like it. I want to eventually go on a speaking tour and talk to people in person about it. Auditoriums full of people, because we can't live like this anymore. It's the easiest thing to change in the world. That would not only won't it cost anything, we would make money doing it. Okay, we don't need ICE and ATF and DEA, and we could reduce our police in half and just have them do what they need to do. Just help people and protect people, not shoot innocent people through the windshield of their car like they just did the other day. Okay, that's a tragedy, and my heart goes out to the family of that young woman and her 3 children that ICE agent fucking killed her in cold blood. She was unarmed, not hurting anyone, just dropped her son off at school, and they tried to pull her out of her car. So I didn't mean to end on a downer, but I'm glad I wanted to mention that today, because I do get social political. Besides talking about one job an episode, every episode I talk about one of my 52 jobs, but I also do some social political stuff, and we talk about art, and we talk about travel. It is Travels with Channel. No, it's not. It is Travels with Carl. And you'll see I make mistakes like that. A lot of YouTubers would edit that out. Now I'm leaving it in, because mistakes and fucking shit up is part of life. And for a long time, my motto was, we strive for mediocrity. Love you, man. Stay with me. Let's ride.
Aqui, esse lugar aqui, aqui, isso, não dá para plantar cerejas, porque aqui, ó, água empoçar, ó, muita água, e aqui muito baixo, cerejas ali em cima, ok, ali, ok, ali, ok, aquela zona ali, ok, mas aqui não, ó. Aqui dá para fazer lago, lago, ó, tudo molhado. Aqui dá para fazer um lago bem legal, porque vem água de lá e fica empoçado aqui. Tem uma nascente ali em cima. Então aqui em volta dá para fazer lago de peixes.
Surrounded by the bees, the birds and the breeze, his motor home in the woods where creativity sees. Sun will the boat, colors come alive on canvas, he paints, pressing on.